Alright guys, so today is currently December 5th, 2024, and a couple days ago I took a trade which did result in a loss. Honestly, it kind of sucks, but you know what? It is what it is. So yeah, I'll just show you guys the history on my Top Step account. As you can see here, we took a $287.50 loss. We have the entry and the exit price, so I'll just go to the charts. So basically what happened here was we had an hourly sweep, right? Price finally took out the previous high and we actually created newer highs, right? So at this point, usually when I do get a sweep, I'm usually looking for a reversal or some kind of pullback, right? And so yeah, that was my thought process for going short. Let's actually just go straight to the 1 minute. Basically right over here, I did take the trade a bit earlier. So I didn't take it in the London Silver Bullet session, which honestly, every time I do that, I notice I always miss out on a better entry or an entry that would have, mitigated the loss, right? So here we actually entered right over here, right? We had a break of structure to the downside, right? We got a retracement and I had a limit order set right over here. So price entered me in, we got entered into the trade, and as you can see, price went straight to my stop loss right over here, right? So we did take the loss. I was aiming to go down to this area right here. There was no real particular reason to target that area. It was just I was looking to I was just looking for price to reverse. Actually no, I drew a fib from the bottom to the top here, and this was the equilibrium point at the time, right? So I was looking to at least retrace to this area before continuing higher. I didn't want to risk going all the way down to equilibrium. But like I said, as you can see here, we just got stopped out. We entered at this fair value gap right over here. Not too much to say about this trade. I think for the most part, I could have waited for a few more confluences, maybe some SMTs. I could have definitely waited for the London Silver Bullet session, right? Had I waited, maybe we would have gotten a reduced loss. But overall, I was still looking to short. So, yeah, not much we could do about this one, but just move on to the next. So yeah. Oh, and also for the last trade, I also did decide to risk more. That was because, every month you have to rebuy the challenge, and my thought process was you know what, if I have to pay again, I might as well just risk more, right, to try and pass the challenge. But you know what, didn't work out, so it is what it is. But as for this part that I'm going to tell you guys, I wasn't really planning on posting it. I was just planning on recording this experience for myself, because this loss was kind of big. It was definitely, it was on my personal account. I guess I'll show you guys. So basically what happened was, for the month of November, I didn't lose once, right? I was just constantly winning. It was a really good month, all right? And I don't know if it's just myself or I'm just speaking for myself. Whenever I go on a winning streak, I tend to get a little excited, right? I get too cocky. And you know what happens after you get cocky? You basically, not necessarily, for me, I didn't over leverage. More so, I just kind of entered into a trade without really thinking, right? And it caused me to lose. So, I'll show you guys right now, but we lost $1,000 today. 1,000 USD, which really sucks. But you know what? I think with the whole month of for the month of November, it really opened my eyes, right? In terms of like, it gave me confidence in the sense that I know I can make it back, like 100%, right? I mean, yeah, no, I could definitely make it back. I'm not worried about that part, because if I'm thinking about it, like, this is literally the beginning of my journey. Like, if I think I can't make it back, then why am I still continuing, right? But no, I could definitely make it back. I've already proved it to myself. So yeah. But just going over this trade, I'll be honest. With a small account, I had to risk a lot more, right? But that was like, I was risking the same amount for each trade, even in November, right? I was risking 0.5 lots, and I was comfortable with that. And even like when I took this trade, I was comfortable with the risk I was willing to take. And obviously, like, shit. Okay. Because I was risking like basically the whole account, I didn't have a stop loss, right? And yeah, when I took these trades, I was looking for price to at least pull back to like at least even to maybe even like 25%, right? But price just continued higher and then it retraced, right? But because price went up higher, we were pretty far from our entry. I'll be honest, this trade started to eat me up a little bit. And that was also like, and I made the decision to close out this trade for a couple of reasons. One is like, I have finals coming up, and I just noticed myself like not studying at all. I'd be constantly staring at the charts, and like knowing that no matter how much I look at it, nothing's gonna change, right? Nothing's gonna change. So that was one reason. And also the other reason was that just the way that the market started to form, it honestly made me lose confidence in my position, right? Like here we had SMTs, right? So we had SMTs right here. If you go on the lower time frame, there's a bunch of generated buy side just resting right here. Tomorrow is the first Friday of the month, heavy impact or high impact news, right? And I mean, there is potential that price could come back down, and I would have taken a reduced loss, but with all this generated buy side, I'm expecting price to at least take all this out, especially with the high impact news, right? So I didn't want to risk that, right? Plus, I had like, realistically, at what point, like if price went up, then I would have just had a bigger loss, because I don't think I would have put a stop loss anywhere here, right? And also, as you can see on my top sub account, I even took a buy, right? And in like if I'm taking a buy on the Funded FX account, the top sub account, why would I hold my short position? Because if I believe price is going to come up here, why would I hold it, right? So I decided to just close the trade. And yeah, I mean, this trade, yeah, I definitely did get cocky. I was kind of trading. Actually, no, this trade was horrendous. Guys. At least, like, if I were to take a trade using discretionary trading, I could just slap on a buy, right? Because I see that there's tons of generated buy side. We have SMTs. Lower time frame, we broke structure higher, retrace into a fair value gap, continue higher, right? With all these confluences, it was just showing me that like price is potentially likely going to move higher, and so there was no point of me holding that trade. Not gonna lie, guys, this was a huge relief. I think like another reason why I also okay, I'll be honest. In November, I was in a trade, and I was down like 2.4k, Actually, I have like a screenshot of it. It's definitely not light. It wasn't light, right? But even at that time when I was down this much, I didn't feel affected, if I'm being honest. And that was because even though I was down this much, I had such a strong conviction in that price would continue higher. But this time, there was like barely any draw on liquidity. We have generated buy side SMTs, swings getting displaced, retrace into fair value gap to continue higher. Right? There was just like no confidence. I literally lost all confidence in this trade. So yeah, there's definitely a difference in that, but also because my entry in this trade was horrendous. But you know what, guys? I'm not proud of myself for this trade that I took because it was honestly really bad. I got too cocky. The entry was horrendous. But honestly, like, I'm glad I was able to like just close out of the position, right? I'm like, I know like the old me would have definitely just held it, right? And then added more shorts just to reduce the average in hopes that it would go down. But this time I was willing to take this loss. Honestly, and especially like because I like the money that I made in the account, I made it so quick. It was like that gave me, obviously, you know, like it's not like you're gonna make quick money in trading. Well, actually, I don't know, but like I guess in terms of my own journey, like I already know for a fact I can make it back. And plus, like, you know, my goal is to make 20 grand a trade. So what's the 1 grand loss? Like, that's nothing, right? Nah, I'm joking. You know what? It is what it is, guys. This definitely humbled me, which I am grateful for. You know, it could have been a lot worse, if I'm being honest. Like, if I decided to actually hold this, there's honestly a good chance I would have like actually blown the entire account. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. I just wanted to cover this. This is actually the second biggest loss that I've taken in my trading journey. So I had to record this, you know. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. As you can see here on our Top Step account, we're currently in a trade. So I'll catch you guys once this trade plays out. Alright guys, so today's currently December 8th, 2024. And last week we took a trade which resulted in a $567 win. So right here on Top Step, as you can see here, the trade history, this is the profit and loss right here, right? And as you can see, the balance on the account is now at 51,885, which is the highest the account's ever been. So honestly, I thought I'd be ending this week in a loss, but you know, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't after taking that horrendous loss on the live account. But let's just move on to the trade recap. So basically, my whole thought process behind this was that, as you can see here, we are on the NASDAQ, right? We had SMTs on the 1 hour time frame. So SMTs going down here, SMTs going up on ES. So once we got the SMTs, honestly, usually I'd wait for some kind of sweep, which I guess this is the sweep right here, right? So yeah, we got the sweep, we got SMTs. Right after that, I moved to a lower time frame. So on the 1 minute, basically what I saw here was that after getting the SMTs, we also had generated buy side liquidity resting right over here, right? So I was actually looking for this to potentially get taken out, and this was a Thursday, I believe, and the next day was NFP Friday, right? And honestly, when I did see price like was this far from where we currently were at, I was like, you know what, because it is a high impact news day, it seemed reachable, right? And as you can see, we missed out on quite a bit. But regardless, let's just continue. So basically, this green line right here is our entry, and this green line up here is our TP. The risk to reward was honestly, it was kind of bad, but you know what? I was risking a lot more, right? Because, you know, had I actually placed it anywhere down here, I would have gotten stopped out, which would have really sucked after taking 2 losses already during the week. But basically, we had generated buy side, and then right here we had a break of structure higher, right? Or displacement up, we broke structure, and I was looking to take a trade somewhere in this area. The ideal entry would have been somewhere over here, right? Or even down here with the fair value gap. But because we did miss it, I think I took a market order. If not, I took the trade somewhere in this area right here, right? Regardless, this is the entry area, right? So some entry criteria would have been displacement, break of structure, retracement into some kind of fair value gap right here, or again, break of structure, retrace into a fair value gap right here, right? So yeah, we took the long, targeting all this resting buy side up here. Could have definitely targeted more, but it is what it is. But yeah, there's not too much to say about this trade. I'm just glad it played out. I really needed it for the confidence booster after taking that massive loss last week. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that'll be all for this video. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's also a link in the description below for a free Discord server. I look forward to seeing you there. So yeah, I guess some final thoughts that I wanted to say is that this week has definitely been beneficial, you know, in some way, right? You know, it does suck that we did take the $1,000 loss, but as you can see, price continued way higher. So I was very glad I was able to, you know, not just sit on my hands and pray that price would continue down, but I was able to pull the trigger when I realized, like, okay, you know what, stop being delusional, right? Just exit out of the trade and just take the loss, right? Like, I wouldn't have been there in the first place if I just placed a stop loss, right? It wouldn't have caused me so much stress. Well, I guess, like, it mainly caused me stress because the charts were telling me that price was going to continue higher, right? And I also had a final to study for, and I realized I was just staring at a chart, realizing nothing would change, even if I just stared at it, right? So I was like, this loss was definitely a grounding experience in my trading journey. Definitely not the biggest loss I've taken, but this time I'm glad I was able to close out of it without blowing the account, because honestly, I think if I actually held it, I would have blown the account. But yeah, I mean, you know, obviously after going on some kind of winning streak, right? You know, a big loss is bound to come, especially if you're not using a stop loss, right? And yeah, I mean, that's just how it is, right? You can't win forever. And honestly, I guess there was a little part of me that thought I could, but clearly I can't, right? But that's literally a part of trading, so you can't beat yourself up for losing, right? And I guess, like, you know, I mean, $1,000 isn't light, right? So you really need the stomach to actually endure taking these kinds of losses. The way I see it, yeah, it does suck, but you know, for where I'm aiming to go, $1,000 is actually nothing, right? And plus, like, within November, maybe it had something to do with the election, which is why the markets just kept going up. But I definitely gained confidence in my strategy, right? I can definitely fall back on it if I ever do lose confidence. So yeah, I mean, I guess all I have to say is don't let a minor setback stop you from moving forward in your journey, right? It happens. It happens. And does it suck? 100%. But it is what it is, right? Because in the long run, this loss is not going to matter, right? It's not going to be the end of your journey unless you allow it to be, right? So just keep going. Just keep going. Because when you stick to it, the rewards on the other side will definitely be worth it. So yeah, I mean, that'll be all for now, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace.